Okay, so this should be the third episode, I think, of my series on my family history on Ancestry.com of like the Massiah family. So today I'm going to talk about my father's family and my mother's family, and it's going to be more contemporary than history. So basically, it starts here in Calgary, in Scotland. So right now, well, when I was a kid, I was born in a place called Calgary in Canada, and it's named after a place in Scotland, as you can see, right? A hamlet. And there's a bunch of people with Scottish and Irish ancestry that live in this area in Canada. And so I think I've always known that my family was Scottish and Irish. Like my father lived in Scotland, and I think my mom lived in Scotland too. And so they both lived in England as well in their lives before coming to Canada. And my father's family is Scottish. And so I just never clicked into my mind that I was basically being raised as a Scottish person. I lived in England when I was a kid. Like with my school, I traveled to England and France and stuff like that. But this was me when I was little. So they used to dress me up in little things with tartans and stuff like that when I was little. And I'm gonna see if I can find a picture. But there is like this picture that I think at one of my father's like work events or something, or like at a Robbie Burns night, because I've been going to those for my whole life. And it's like me, one of my sisters, and my other sister Nadia. We're all lined up and we're wearing like kilts and stuff. There I am again. I don't know. I must be like 3 or 4 years old there. And like I said, I lived everywhere. This is me in the mountains learning how to ski with my school. My parents put me in like a French school, so I could speak English really when I was a little kid. I lived in like a area where people spoke French all day in school and everything. So yeah, it wasn't until I was in like junior high that I spoke English at school and everything. Um, they also put me in a military program when I got older. And this is also where I got to practice kind of Scottish culture. I was in a group that did like bagpipes and stuff. Like I learned how to use a chanter and drum and everything like that. And like my cousin was like this in this group like called the Calgary Highlanders and stuff like that. Um, but yeah, so that was like unconsciously to me part of my growing up, like going to Burns nights and wearing a kilt and like playing Scottish traditional music and living in a place that's named after a place in Scotland, but it's in Canada with these people. I think I've posted this on my page before, but this was at a summer camp in my military program. I think this is Cold Lake, but it could also be Penhold, but I'm pretty sure it's Cold Lake, which is like a NATO base in Canada. And so, yeah, I was in that program until I think I was like 17, maybe, or 16 when I was in the program. I think that you age out at 17. But this was a specific year because I was finished high school and I was doing an exchange program to Japan. So, this is me in Japan. And that was like my exchange mom's best friend and her daughter. I think her name was Chica, the mom. So this isn't my exchange family. It was just their friends that decided to take me out to like um, an outing one day. I don't know what it's called. It's like the forest that's like really famous in Japan. And like I said, I think I was like 14 or 15. I hadn't graduated from high school. I graduated when I was 15, so I was like 14 years old here. This is a picture of Sapporo, Japan. That's where I used to live. And I used to live in a place that is like Okadama, so like a neighborhood that's like the old part of Sapporo. And this is just a picture from like a sports day in Japan. I think we were either playing soccer or we are playing baseball or something like that because like baseball was like super huge in high school in Japan. And that's just a picture of me playing the taisho koto. I think that's what it's called. It's kind of like a harp, not really a harp, but traditional music was part of my kind of exchange program thing. So that's me at my high school graduation. And I always thought it was kind of weird. I always felt like I was like old looking compared to other people, even though I was like 15 years old. I'm not sure how old you are when you graduate when you're in like school in the US. I'm pretty sure you're probably like 16 or something when you graduate, but I was 15 at this time. Like, look at that. It makes me look like I'm like super old. And especially since I slicked back my hair, so it looks like I just cut all my hair off. But yeah, I was 15 there. There you go. That was from my graduation. This picture is significant to me because this was right before I had to leave this camp, which is the NATO base. And it was in summer, and I had to fly. Like, I had a week to go back home and fly to Japan for a year and a half and finish my high school. So let's just go back to Calgary. Like I said, yeah, I just wanted to give you a little bit of a history on like my upbringing or whatever. So, about the family tree, I noticed something really interesting. I think it says like third or maybe fourth great grandparents there. This is on my dad's side of the family. On the next episode, I'll go over my mom's side of the family. But I've been able to trace them back to the 1600s right now. And then it does something weird. It like jumps, and then it's like some like princess. I know it sounds weird. There's like some lords and ladies and princesses and mistresses of people that it connects my name to. And yeah, these are like my blood relatives because, like I said, it has that True Line logo on there. So these people are my direct ancestors. And it's interesting. They're all from like Scotland and Ireland, and yeah, so it proves what my family has always said, that we're from Scotland and Ireland, and I knew, and I like went to England. My family still lives in England, so yeah, it's really interesting so far what we've found. What else is there that I found that's surprising? Oh, there is one thing. So when my father's family went from England to the Caribbean, and then eventually they went back to England again, um, something weird happened. There was some weird scandal in the Massiah family in Barbados. And for some reason, that right there, I think it was John Massiah, or either John Massiah or like Isaac Massiah, was the start of where my family became, I hate to say this, but it's a derogatory term, mulatto. So they are mixed race. And so, yeah, I thought that was really interesting. I might talk about that on the next episode. So keep watching and just leave a comment.